on YouTube. I honestly did not announce to anyone on YouTube, but what we're going to do today, for anyone rewatching this on YouTube, we are doing a remote viewing, and I have Instagram right here next to me running at the same time. And so the reason why I'm running Instagram is because people can interact and actually come on camera. I don't know if YouTube has that capability yet. So if anybody happens to see this on YouTube and you'd like to volunteer to have a remote scan of your subconscious mind, then you can hop on over to @heal_and_manifest on Instagram. Otherwise, if you're watching this on a replay, then just enjoy witnessing this incredible healing that's going to take place for these beautiful souls. And even if you do not get chosen to participate, or let's say we run out of time or whatever, then anyone else observing, just trust that you are here for a reason. And as you've already witnessed on Instagram, people commenting how it resonates. It resonates even if it's not you that's getting the scan. So lots of electricity from my sweater. So on YouTube, watch it as a replay, enjoy, save it, like the video. It does help the channel if you like the video. Share it with anyone else that you may feel will benefit from this incredible healing session. And please also know that we are going to have a group collective healing that I will do for everybody based on the energies that I'm picking up. Okay, so without further ado, we are going to get started. So before I bring Sonia, are you still with me? Heart emojis. Welcome, Simran. All these people that I haven't seen in a while are here, and then people that I just recently saw and started working with are here, and WhatsApp messages are coming through. I thought I was in do not disturb. Okay, and the person that messaged me, literally also a client in my Heal and Manifest program. I hope she's able to catch the live, because she said last time she was sad she didn't catch it, and now she's messaging me. I don't know if she knows we're going live. Okay, Sonia, you're still with me? I believe. Okay, so before I bring Sonia up, really quick, I'm going to do a download for everybody. So everybody who is here right now, just allow yourself to just be fully present. Trust that you're here for a reason. Everything is happening for you. So just trust that you're here for a reason. So welcome to everyone. So we're all going to take a deep breath, a nice deep breath into your belly. Nice deep breath into your belly, expanding and allowing yourself to just be fully present. Be fully present and allow yourself to tune into your heart. And when you get to the top of that breath, just hold, take in a little bit more through your nose, and pause and release. And if you're doing this on Instagram or YouTube, wherever you are, you don't have to hold the phone. If you feel like you want to lay down, you could totally lay down, but do know that some of you have been in my group sessions, so you can attest to this. You may fall asleep. Very high chance that if you lay down, you will fall asleep. See, heart's confirming this. Okay. So go ahead and take another deep breath. This time you're going to take a nice deep breath into your heart, opening up your chest, relaxing your lungs, filling your lungs with beautiful oxygen. And when you get to the top of that breath, just go ahead and hold it. Take in a little bit more and let go. Just let go of all that no longer serves you. Release and let go. And when you get to the bottom of that breath, you may want to hold a little bit before you take in a little more, or you can just take in a little more. I want you to start getting used to breathing in and out of your nose normally. Just breathing in and out of your nose normally, trusting that you are a divine being of light who knows what it feels like to take in the breath of life in order to stay in alignment with your heart's highest truth. So you're tuning into source, you're tuning into your creator energy. You are the creator, you are co-creating. We all come from one light. We're all here to uplift the consciousness of this planet. So as you start to ease into this breath, go ahead and just, if needed, return back to your normal breathing pattern, or go ahead and take another deep breath. So if you take another deep breath, you can breathe into your belly or back into your heart, or you can even consciously be aware that you're taking the breath into your belly and then moving it up into your heart. And if you'd like, you can put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly and just allow yourself to surrender. So the biggest lesson of this week for many people, and I reminded many of my one-on-one clients in our sessions, it's not about forcing things. Yes, you do need to take action in the external world because we do live in a frequency where we do need to actually get up and walk somewhere in order to get somewhere. But as I always remind you, it's about taking more internal action. And internal action is surrender, relaxing into trust, relaxing into abundance. So you are relaxing and you are surrendering. And so why is it important to relax? Because only when you are relaxed, you are able to enter the alpha brainwave. What is the alpha brainwave? It is a slower frequency that your brain is running on, and only in that alpha brainwave are you able to tap in to your subconscious. The alpha brainwave is the bridge between your conscious and subconscious, between your left brain and your right brain. And so when some of you fall asleep in my sessions is because you're going into the theta brainwave, which is a lower frequency than alpha, and that is your subconscious. And so if you try to do this on your own, unless you have taken my Conscious Agent Academy and learned how to do it, but if you try to enter theta on your own, sometimes you enter without realizing, but if you want to enter it on your own, you do need to spend hours in alpha. But because this is what I do, I'm going to take you to theta right away. And when you are in the theta brainwave, everything happens much faster. So when I am scanning you, I'm scanning your subconscious, I am tapping in through the theta brainwave. And when old programs are released in that state, it's permanent release. And it's released on all levels: core, genetic, history, and soul. So it's not just brain reprogramming, which eventually reprograms your DNA. It's simultaneous brain DNA reprogramming and also releasing of any old ancestral programs that you may have had passed on from hundreds, thousands of years ago from your ancestors, which also affects your DNA and also your soul imprints. So any parallel dimension, any past life, even if you say, I don't believe in past lives, whatever, your soul is an eternal being of light. So if you don't believe that, your body is just temporary and your soul does come back, and you do have parts of your soul still aware in other dimensions of time. So time doesn't actually exist. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. But let me just tell you, releasing a deep past life trauma has healed people that no doctor, no medicine could ever heal. And I've done this myself personally, healed horrible physical conditions in as little as one session. So, all right. So hopefully that gives you a little more information. I've noticed in the past, I used to go a lot longer, and all the upgrades that I've done, I noticed that I personally have been moving much faster in my physical dimension in this life, and in this physical avatar that I chose to have in this life. All right. I don't know if Sonia is still here. Sonia, if you're here, go ahead, because she was the first one that volunteered. She may have had to go because I know I'm starting at a time where some people, if you have, a job, you are probably at work and you may be tuning in and out. So anyone else? Was Maya? I think Maya was next. Who was next? So Sonia, if you are here, then go ahead and request to be in the video and I will accept you, and then we will, oh, you are here. Okay, so go ahead and hit the request to join my live, and know that you will be on video. And this is the best way to be able to do it, because if we do it via, who is next? Let me scroll up. So Sonia, And then Danielle. Oh, or Danielle, were you first? Oh no, so sorry, I forgot. Okay, Danielle. Danielle is first. Sorry, I just saw the heart emojis. Okay, I missed it. My apologies. So Danielle, if you want to go, you request the video, and then Sonia's next. I need someone to keep me in check. And then Regina said scan me, and then Maya. Okay, so let's see how many I can get to. So let's do our best. Okay, so oh, hold on. View request. Okay, so Danielle, here we go. I'm gonna shake. And by the way, for anyone participating, please hydrate, get some water wherever you are. If you don't have water, please lean forward and rub your kidneys, which gives you a false sense of hydration. Why is this important? Because our entire body, our entire body is made out of water. So it's important for you to be hydrated so that everything that we do in this session works much better. And it doesn't matter if you're not the one participating personally, as long as you are receiving these downloads and you are staying on this live and you're participating and open to receiving, I want you to remember that after this session, you do not want to consume any alcohol and whatever, smoking, whatever, for at least 3-4 days, 3-4 sleeping cycles, because I want to make sure you actually get something more out of this than just the temporary, even though it's never temporary with subconscious beliefs. But it's like, like I did a session for a client and we did healing for his kidneys and he felt amazing. And then the next day he's like, I'm not feeling so good. I'm like, what did you do when you got home? Oh, I had dinner. What did you eat? What else did you have? I had 3 glasses of whiskey. Okay. So, it's kind of like, I cleaned the bathroom. It's clean. But then I'm going to go and walk around with my muddy shoes. Like, a good analogy. Okay, my dear. All right. So drink some water if you have some nearby. I'm going to take a couple sips. So just take a couple deep breaths, and then do you give me permission to scan your mind, body, and soul?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Okay. Take like 3 sips in one. All right. So just keep your eyes closed. Breathe in and out of your nose. Everyone else watching, just observe and hold space for Danielle. Okay. So continuing to breathe in and out of your nose normally, I'm just going to ask to see what is it that we need to know that is in your highest and best that we need to know right now. Okay. Continuing to breathe in and out of your nose normally. Okay, so lots of things came in kind of all at once. The first thing I heard is you feel trapped. You feel trapped in your current arrangement, in your current structure that you've created for yourself, and you feel like you're not able to grow, and you're questioning, like, what do you need to do to be able to balance? Because there's a lot of good, but at the same time you feel trapped, and you're not sure how to break, and it's like this old paradigm that's shifting, and you're almost like you're going back and forth. Does that resonate? Okay. Okay, so let me see, what else do we need to know, and then we'll kind of, so it's for everyone new joining. If you would like to have a remote view as Danielle is having, just put heart emojis in the comment. Some people are already on the waiting list, but just trust and know that even if I don't get to you, you're still going to get a lot out of just observing. And the other thing I want to mention, all I'm doing is I'm working through your higher self. So this isn't Reiki. This isn't like I'm just trying to do a temporary energetic relief. I'm being guided by Danielle's higher self. So she is the creator. We are all the creator. We're all connected. So I am asking, what is the most important thing that we need to do right now? So what's coming up, it's like the belief programs that you have been running on are starting to crumble or have been crumbling. And you are trying to figure out what is the truth and what is not, and how to align yourself in a way where you are learning without dismissing the old programs, without feeling like you wasted time, without feeling like you regret and wish you should have known this sooner. So being gentle with yourself, and that's what's coming up in terms of like you really trying to find this congruency and balance. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you have any questions, by the way?
Not so far.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. So let's see. Okay, so there's some fear about, like, I see you like you have desires to travel, you have desires to see more of the world, but there's this like old fear creeping in. It's like fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of abandonment. You have kids, right? You have one or two, I can't remember. Two, one. Okay. Um, so trying to be the perfect mother, trying to be a good role model, be a perfect wife, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like you're becoming more aware of programs from your ancestors, from your from your mother and father, and all of these things. And it's almost like there's times where you're feeling suffocated. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm picking up like your throat chakra. It's almost like you feel, let me just raise the volume so in case I miss something. It's almost like you feel you cannot say what you want to say. Like your throat chakra is blocked, and not like completely blocked, but you have a fear of not saying it the right way, or you have a fear that you're going to offend people. So how
Yes.
how long has this been going on? A while.
Yeah, after I had a session with you, which was 2.5 years ago, I ended up moving forward with a divorce. So I'm trying to co-parent with my ex, and it's anything I do is brings so much negativity and jealousy from him, and I have a new relationship, and I'm trying to navigate that, and with my son, and just it's a lot of. I
You,
do feel very stuck and like trapped by his negativity, and I can't escape it because that's my son's father.
you know what's crazy? I didn't want to say anything, but it kept coming up. Like divorce kept coming up, and I remember last time we had a session, you were married, and so I was being really careful, like what I say in case somebody's like watching, like that you don't want to watch. But I kept like feeling like divorce. But I'm like, okay, and this is like side note, but and I've considered like being like, how people like focus on working with specific, like I always tell people like niche down, like pick an avatar.
Yeah.
I've had so many women who literally, and one man, a man so far, male client, but majority women who were trapped in like really toxic marriages. I had even one in India who was like arranged marriage. It was so bad. Like she was physically abused. I had one in America physically abused. And through doing healing with me, they were able to get divorced. So if I wanted to like coin myself as like, I'll help you get divorced, like I could totally do that. But that doesn't mean that if you do sessions with me, you're automatically gonna, like, I'm not trying to say I separate people, but it's what's good for you. It's what's healthy for you. Just like a recent client I had got married very young. And in fact, actually, no, she was in the last IG live. She got married so young. And so because we're growing and we're changing, right? And that's literally what I picked up with you. So, and to come back to you, even though you physically got divorced, we still need to do an energetic divorce from him, because that construct is still there, and it's starting to affect, and I don't know if you said this earlier or not, but it's affecting your current relationship. And like you're starting to look for patterns, but you're still in this old paradigm, but you're unable to like flow into this new and see the good in you, because remember, Danielle, you are creating your reality. Only you are creating your reality. So if you continue to allow this, you're going to eventually create a reality similar, right? So it's up to you what you want to do. And for anyone watching, like, okay, 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago, we had one session. So this is why I stopped doing just single sessions and only a few people here and there. Please, can I just have one session? This is why I stopped doing single sessions, because my sessions are so powerful, right? So you had one divorced, understood that it wasn't for you. I had one ulcer healed, leg pain healed. So many examples. One session does so much. But guess what happens after you have that one session? Then your soul's like, now we're ready to do this, and now we're ready to do this. And so that's why I stopped doing the singles, because even though this one session does so much, and sometimes it can take 2-3 months for you to notice, right? Like I had a client, I gave this example before. She had a fear of driving, could not get behind the wheel of a car over 10 years. And then guess what? We do one session and she's like, nothing happened. Like, my main thing is I want to start driving again. I want to have a boyfriend. And then her friend messages me like a month and a half, 2 months later, who referred her to me through Instagram. It was her friend. She goes, oh, by the way, after a month and a half, she got a boyfriend and she's driving again. So it does sometimes take a while, but even though it does take a while and you don't see results, even in that time frame, if you do more, it will happen. Not only will it happen faster, but you're going to do more. So what happens is, it's kind of like, you're like, I'm going to organize my kitchen, and you like start with one drawer and and all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, but now I want to like paint this cabinet. And then you paint the cabinet, like, you know what? This like plant doesn't look good next to this cabinet. Now I'm going to get, it's like you're remodeling yourself. Right. And so that's why I don't do the singles anymore, because as much as they benefit people, it's sad for me to go, if they would have just had 1 or 2 or 3, like my Heal and Manifest program, which I'm only going to leave 2 or 3 more spots. That's it for one-on-one. And then all the focus goes on Conscious Agent Academy. The point is to be your accountability partner and to make sure that you're upgrading yourself more. And you're getting to a point where you're no longer trapped in fear, right? Because you made this huge decision, but then more things come up and you have the proper tools so that you can manage, and not just manage, but thrive. You know what I mean? So it's like you're starving your fear and you're stepping into your personal power, so that you're no longer going, last time this happened. And what if the same thing happens? And so what is it? It's like your left brain's like, this happened and that's what we know. And we don't know what the future holds, because the future is unknown. And the left brain's always like, I need to know. And so then what's happening is you're literally starting to recreate your past. And most importantly, you're not just recreating a past from this life. You are running on programs from other dimensions of time that you may not even be aware of. And so that's why it's important to like peel those layers, right? It's kind of like you go to open the jar. I'm so like, my English, my third language, I give the weirdest analogies. You go to open the jar and the jar doesn't open. Well, the second time, if you would have tried, it would have opened, but it needed that first like foundation layer. It's like, you can't open it, and then you hand it to like your boyfriend or friend and they open it and like it's no big deal, right? And what's interesting, now that we're on that topic, I was talking about internal versus external, right? So how do you get stronger, and how do you strengthen your core? Working out, doing Pilates, etc. Well, there's the internal, as we talked about, internal exercise. If you actually visualize working out, so let's say you're like stuck on a train or on a plane, and you're like, oh man, the hotel doesn't have a gym, I'm not gonna be able to. If you just spend that time, instead of watching some stupid movie on your flight, or having a Bloody Mary, I feel like someone has a Bloody Mary on the plane, and that's why I said that. Instead of doing that, if you actually visualize whatever it is that you want, and make use of that time on the plane or wherever it is you are, in the elevator or wherever, waiting in line for the post office, if you visualize whatever it is, and I always say not just visualize, but also feel into it. So I gave the example when I'm in Scotland and there's no sun, I'll go to the tanning booth because I found out it's actually better than not getting any sun. When I close my eyes, I picture myself at the beach. So next week I'll be in Spain, and so I'm already picturing myself at the beach. I'm at the beach in Spain, and the sun is shining on my face. And so studies have been done where, and there's a reason I'm telling you this right now, you, Danielle, and everyone else who needs to hear it, because it's important to know this, and it's important for you to incorporate this in your morning routine for at least 5 minutes. This is for everybody. And 5 minutes before bed, because you're wiring yourself, you're literally programming yourself before you go to bed. You are able to visualize, but also feel, because visualization works only 50% of the time versus feeling. That's why a lot of my downloads, if not all, are I know what it feels like, because it's about quieting the mind, because the mind's like, I don't know. So you're at the same time working on the conscious and subconscious, left brain, right brain coming into balance. So I know what it feels like. Left brain, no, right brain, feel. And so some people who have a hard time visualizing, just feel it. Like, what does rain sprinkling on your face feel like? What does the sun shining and warming your face feel like? And so same thing applies to whatever it is you want in your life. What does it feel like to be in a loving relationship? What does it feel like to detach from fear? What does it feel like to feel free and choose love over fear, over resistance? Choose love and know that no matter who it is that you expect that love from, only you can start to feel it first before it's manifested in your reality. So let me just tune back in and see any questions, anything else before I tune back in.
I guess just sharing with anybody who's watching just how profound, honestly, the changes were after my session with you. I got my divorce. I moved to a whole new place where I don't know anybody. Bought a house. I now have a whole community. I've learned to hear and trust my instincts and intuition, and been following them in so many different ways, and amazing things have been happening. But I think with this new relationship, this fear is starting to come back in of it's so amazing, I don't want to lose it. And I feel that he's my person, even though it doesn't make sense to other people. And I'm having this internal struggle of being scared to lose it because it's so great, and trying to remind myself no, if we're supposed to be together, that's what will happen, and it's going to be okay, even though my ex-husband is questioning me and grilling me about it. So yeah, that's where I am right now.
Wow, amazing. So and we haven't even talked this whole time, so it's been it's been almost 3 years, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, so see, thank you for sharing, because this encourages others that change is possible, and you don't have to keep staying stuck. You don't have to suffer. And you also gave the example of yes, I'm in this new reality, but some of the old parts are creeping in. So while I'm still doing one-on-one, I do suggest that, and don't worry about whatever logistics. Many of you know I don't let anything stand in your way of healing. So whatever it is we need to do to set that up for you, so we can do the energetic divorce. So what is an energetic divorce? Energetic divorce is I'm looking into your vows, your soul contract, and seeing, okay, what is the purpose that he served, and how can we now dissolve the agreements, vows, covenants, oaths, whatever soul contracts, because that's really important to do. And it's not just for romantic relationships. It's literally business partners, friends, whatever. Somebody looked at you the wrong way at the grocery store. I met this older man who's constantly saying hi to me at the coffee shop, and then I saw him walking down the street, and then he's like, my girlfriend needs healing, and so I gave him my information, and then he's sending me random texts, and I'm like, okay, I need to do an energetic divorce from this person, because it's and I sent him a message. I said, listen, I'm great that you have all this time on your hands, but I don't. I only I don't give out my number to people, but I gave it to you because your girlfriend just had heart surgery, and that's the only reason. So anyway, you know how some people are, they're just to just, they have nothing to do and they just want to chat. And I'm like, I can't do that right now. So, so I do recommend that we do that. And then we release his soul fragments, cleanse them and release them. And then we reclaim yours back from all generations of time. So, because he does feel like, and I might have told you this, I don't remember like exactly what happened during our session at this time, but he does, like, the energy that I feel is that he is a deep karmic partner. And so what happens is when you have a karmic soulmate, because people go, oh, he's my soulmate, he's my soulmate. Of course, we're all soulmates. We all, you know, your mother is your soulmate, you know, and you can have a twin flame that's not romantic, but it doesn't mean if you have a romantic twin flame that you're meant to be with them. And so karmic soulmates are triggering you. There may have been like crazy attraction in the beginning, and then you pull back. It's like a pinball machine, right? And you know, you do teach each other, but it's up to each individual. So obviously, like, you moved on and you have this new, complete, like, new environment, new soul, you know, well, not new soulmate, but you know what I mean, new life, new husband or boyfriend. And this guy's like, wait, you know, he's triggering you, but at the same time, it's like he's still like he's doing his job to continue triggering you, so that you go, okay, like, what else have I not done? Like, what else do I need to do? You know what I mean? So, so this is, you know, like, I was called to doing this live today, and I finally announced it the day before instead of just the day of. Like, I was like, yay, I'm winning in life. I announced it the day before, and I was called to doing it because I'm like, it's Easter weekend, but like, I no longer question when I want to do something and I make a decision. I do it. I don't question it. And I knew that this session was meant to be because there are people who need it. People who need to be here, people who need the advice, people. I mean, imagine how many people have hopped in and out or are still with us who have now been encouraged by the experience that you've had, you know, and may need to really like meditate on how are they holding themselves from moving forward into a new reality. Because I always talk about upgrading your energy, but also choosing. So you're upgrading your energy, but you cannot upgrade your energy without first becoming aware of what the lessons are of the experiences that you've had, and becoming aware of how are you repeating old stories instead of learning and then moving forward. And then when the fear creeps in, how are you reacting to that fear, right? So let me see what else comes in. Yeah, so I'm picking up like you gave a lot in that relationship and he's gotten used to it. Not that he didn't do anything for you, but like you were always like trying to fix and trying to do. And then because you left and like you ended it, it's like he's still in that pattern. Like he's still like, what about me? Like I'm hearing him say like, what about me? You know, that's literally what I just heard him say. Like, what about me? What about me? And it's like this like selfish, needy energy that I'm picking up from him. Is that, you're nodding yes?
Yeah, he's constantly asking for advice, my opinion, for help, for I'm not your wife anymore.
Yeah, but he's used because the bond is still there. You may have been divorced on paper, but the energetic bond is still there. This is why I'm suggesting to do the energetic divorce, and then I can like look into like the contracts and, like I said, vows, covenants, agreements, because on the soul level, there's still an entanglement. You know how people do like cutting of the cords. That's not enough. Cutting of the cords, okay, you disconnected, the cord is cut, but you have had all these soul fragments that have been like, because you know your soul is much bigger than your body. Like your body is simultaneously, the soul is inside of you, but your body is also in your soul's energy, because your soul is not just inside of you and all around you. It's an eternal being. And so being with someone for that long, and not only just exchanging, you know, DNA fragments, you know, from actual physical intimacy, but the energetic fragments. So once you release these soul fragments, And he may feel like something is missing. He may feel like, oh, something's missing. He may try to reach out more, but only because he feels like something's missing, but it's going to make you feel so much better and you're not going to be as reactive. And because the work is done on a subconscious level between your souls, it's eventually going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because it all comes back to like how you're reacting, right? But it's hard to tell yourself to react differently when you're literally just, I had too many things open here. It's hard for you. So like, for example, like right now you're listening, you're understanding it, but then the implementation is not always easy because as you're listening to me, yes, we're in the theta brainwave, but until we go deeper into those programs and like reprogram them, on the conscious level, even though you're aware, you're not going to feel as motivated to stay in that vibration because the old patterns have not been released on the subconscious level. So your subconscious is still like running on that old pattern, and deep down, like you, it's like the reason why you're as bothered as you are and why you have this, the doubt is because a part of you still carries this old guilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like this old guilt, but also, so it's like you're battling yourself, but also battling him, and that's taking your energy away from him.
Yeah.
So it's like he's like taking your energy, you know?
Yeah. And normally I'm pretty good. Like I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty good at not letting it in, but everything at once is happening right now. My work is crazy, family drama with him, struggles with my son, struggles with so that I'm like, okay, what's the message? Like, is it me trying to control things or just what is it? So he's like bothering me more because I'm a little like run down from everything at one time.
So when it's a situation like this, anyone else who can relate to it, that's when it's like remember I was saying, and I don't know if you were here from the beginning when I said we need to sometimes as humans feel like almost like our back is against the wall before we make a choice, because you know in the beginning it wasn't triggering as much or work wasn't as stressful, whatever, and now it's like the work, the this, the that, because guess what, your subconscious is like, hey, are you listening? Like how much more pain can
I'm listening.
She goes,
I'm listening.
Exactly, you're listening. But guess what? That also has to do with the throat chakra. So like when the throat chakra is out of balance, it's hard to listen to yourself and receive true communications. So the throat chakra isn't just about connecting to the truth, you know, of your higher, actually most importantly it's about being able to be true to yourself, right? Because yes, you know what the truth is and connecting to whatever the truth that you want to feel, but then actually listening to yourself and being able to receive that truth, because there's a difference between knowing the truth and being able to be open, to stay open to receiving. So receiving true communications, not just true communications from others, like such as myself, I'm giving you, I'm the conduit right now for you, right? The conduit from your higher self, your subconscious, but also being able to receive your own truth, right? So yes, I'm saying that to you because it's your own truth. So it's a combination of really being open to the creator's truth. So you're being triggered, and it's like right when it gets really tough, like you're being tested. You're being tested, like, is she gonna crack or is she gonna do something about it? You know what I mean? Why is everyone messaging me on WhatsApp right when I'm going live? Like this is like, people go on the Instagram, not on WhatsApp. Okay, let me see if there's anything else we need to know, and then message me. I don't know if you have my contact. If we ever messaged before, because I think it was your brother. I like literally met your brother in person in front of one of my, like, it's always an Italian place. And out of all the places in Scotland, it's the Italian place that I connected with. And there was an Italian place that I used to go to in Studio City. And literally, like, I just went there. I wasn't even planning to go. And then all of a sudden I went, I don't even know how I ended up there. And then this convertible pulls up and this guy's like filming a UFO. And that's how I met your brother.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yep.
It's like the mothership was like, go to the Italian place.
Yeah.
Park in the front because that's where she is. Yes. It's like, you're not listening, so we're gonna send the troops. The troops are marching in. So literally, it's like I was, and I think the first thing I said to him, like, oh, I'm sorry, am I in your shot? Like, because I was like waiting for my, back then when I was eating gluten-free bread, I was waiting for my like gluten-free sandwich, and I was like, sorry, am I in your shot? And then we just started, and then your mom starts texting me. So anyway, so if you still have my direct contact, it's just WhatsApp. So you just find me on WhatsApp or just message me here or whatever. And I think right now I'm booking for second week of May or June. But like if it's like really urgent, just I can try to get you in much sooner. So we can just just trust that it's all coming into alignment because like even when I'm in Spain next week, I'm still I'm still doing sessions and I'm going to do probably a couple more lives and I'll actually be teaching my masterclass, which I will be announcing via email soon. The masterclass I'll be teaching from sunny Spain. So, okay. So, let me just see what else we need to know. Cause I keep saying we're going to tune in and then, okay. So let me just see what one final thing, and I'm going to do a download for you to at least give you some balancing now. And then we can just go deeper, in our one-on-one. Okay. Yeah. So it like your soul is, and this came up earlier too. I don't know if I happened to mention it yet, but your soul, your soul is nudging you to step into your next layer of awakening. And all of these things, I know we already talked about this, all of these things are happening to urge you, to nudge you, to trigger you. Because there's this, like, I just see you see these other versions, like you see things, you visualize, but then you get disheartened and you get pulled back into like the 3D.
Yeah.
So, and this is really easy to resolve. So imagine like how much you've done already from just that one session we had. Yeah. So imagine like how much more we can do. So let's see if there's anything else. I always lose track of time, but I think we haven't gone too much over. Last time I think I worked on someone for almost an hour. So I'm like, okay, Anna, like 30 minutes. So let's see. A lot of blame is like you're blaming yourself, but then you're blaming others, like you're blaming him, but also blaming yourself. So there's some old patterns of blame, and let me just see where, what cord trigger from any past life. Let's just see if there's anything we need to know in terms of a lifetime. Is that okay? And just take a couple deep breaths and keep breathing in and out of your nose normally. So I'm tapping into a lifetime. Obviously, we can't go into too much detail, but I'm tapping into a lifetime where you were working. Like I see you in like the courtyard of a castle, and you're carrying like buckets of water, and you were like working for someone. Like it was like a peasant type of lifestyle, but you were like, the reason why it's coming up because the idea that I have to work hard, that belief is like really programmed in. And this is not just you. There's like so many people. It's like, you have to work hard. You have to work hard. I mean, the matrix literally programs us that we have to work and we have to work and we have to work, because only when you work so hard, I'm not saying we don't have to work, right? But remember, 80% of what you do happens internally, right? So it doesn't matter if you work for someone or if you have your own business, or if you work for someone and desire to have your own business. It doesn't matter where you're at. It all matters how, see the throat chakra, like, am I ready for that? So whenever I pick up on like people, I'm not ready to hear this. It's like, I literally mirror the blockage of the throat chakra. And it doesn't hurt me in any way. It's just, that's just how it happens. So Doesn't matter if you work for someone else, or if you're comfortable in your job or uncomfortable in your job, or if you have your own business or you're doing both. Wherever you are, there are still ways to flow easier. Because some people may say, well, I have a job, so I have to be there at this time, so I have to do this many hours. How are you telling me that I can't work hard? Once again, even if you work somewhere where you're clocking in and out, and whether there's patients or clients or whoever coming through the door, if you're in a store and customers, whoever, whatever situation, if you're in the financial field or if you work in the commercial world where you work with corporations, everything that happens in your life is mirroring your belief program. So if you just choose to have an easy transaction, if you choose, like I had when I was deep in real estate, right? I could always tell if I got multiple offers on a house that I was selling. Energetically, I could feel by the way the broker, real estate agent was talking, by the way the buyer was talking when I met them at the open house. I could always tell who's going to close and who's not. And it wasn't always the highest, the best offer that would close. So I would always advise my clients, okay, this offer is like $30,000 higher, but I just feel like this person doesn't really know what they want. And they're probably making offers on more than one house. And I feel like this other buyer is more secure. And guess what? In that particular situation, the one that was like, it might have been even $50,000 higher, right? It was like $1 million property, over $1 million. And so, of course, they went with the highest offer. And guess what? She started scheduling, her agents contacted me, scheduling like 20 inspections. Like, we're going to check this, we're going to check this, and I'm like, here we go. Like, this is like very left brain stuff. Not that you're not allowed to have inspections. Within like, I think 7 or 8 days before she even completed all the inspections, she backed out. And then we went to the offer that I originally felt was going to be the offer. And it would, even though it was a lower number, it was still at market value. You know what I mean? So intuitively, like how the energy of the house is, the seller's energy, like there's times I had to, do clearing for the house, because the belief system, your belief system trickles into the walls of your home, your bed, your ceiling, when you're cooking your food. So you and only you are able to create the reality that you want. But when you're focused on fear, when you're focused on lack, like for example, I had a client message me on WhatsApp. She's in my program she's right now doing the 8 Chakras course, on the way to be ready for the Conscious Agent Academy, which I'm going to be launching soon. And so she messaged me. She's like, all these old beliefs about how I overcommitted, how, I'm spending too much money, but I'm trying to bring in more abundance. But I really need to pay off all this debt. And I may have shared this in my stories. And I said to her, do not, if you want more abundance, you do not want to focus on the debt. Yes, you know that you want to pay off the debt, but in order to pay off the debt, you need what? You need money. And in order to get money, you need to focus on that activity that brings in money. Paying off debt doesn't bring in money. Okay, in the case of you're getting a loan for a house, it's better to not have too much on your credit cards or whatever, too many lines of credit. Okay, well, I'm not getting into those semantics. The point is, if you are trying to have abundance, focusing on, oh my God, I have all this debt, what is that doing? That is saying, oh my God, I have lack. I need more to not have this lack. So it's like canceling each other out. Okay, like something terrible happened to me a couple days ago with my mom, with whatever, and I go, you know what? Okay, I cried. I felt my feelings, but you know what? I'm using all the tools that I teach my clients, and then I've taught myself, and I've learned over the years, and I'm implementing them. And even though I only slept 3 hours, I'm getting up and I'm getting stuff done. And I'm stepping into my energy, and I'm choosing, and I'm remembering who I am. And I am not giving into this fear. I am not letting the matrix control me. And then amazing miracles started happening while I'm trying to stay awake. And I'm just like, oh, maybe I'll have a coffee, but I quit coffee a week ago, but I'm having a coffee. Oh my God, I had a chocolate croissant. I'm not supposed to have chocolate croissant. I eat steak every day, and then like whatever. And then just all these things, just like gifts, 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 coming in because I'm like, F this. I am starving my fear. I am starving these people who are trying to take my energy. For anyone on YouTube, I am on Instagram Live. I'm scanning, doing remote viewing, participating with someone via Instagram Live, but I'm also running it on YouTube. And if anybody on YouTube, I didn't really announce it on YouTube, you can put it in a comment box if you would like to participate in the next remote viewing. You could totally do that. Just comment in the box, and I'm going to put in the link to apply to my Conscious Agent Academy. So the link that I just put in the comment box, Conscious Agent Academy application, for anyone who would to learn how to upgrade your life, how to be able to heal yourself, your family, and how to be able to heal others. So you don't necessarily need to do this to run a successful business, but if you choose to do that, I will be also running the business mastery. So how it's going to go, we're going to have a live session for training to embody these principles of life and how to master the game of life and how to be able to step into your highest and best version of yourself and how to just live a much more thriving and abundant and loving life. And then for those who want to learn how to heal others, how to do remote viewing, how to scan a person's subconscious, how to reprogram their subconscious, then we will have a separate session for that. And I will also give you access to the replay from my last 6 months. And then anyone else who would like to then build a business, we will also have live sessions for business mastery. So you become a conscious business driven person. So it's not just healing or coaching. It could be in any business. Even I'm going to open up the business mastery probably for real estate agents and really any entrepreneur. I have some nurses who they love what they do. They're healers, but they feel like they need to be doing more. Like, I don't know, Danielle, are you in the nursing? Which field are you in?
I'm in pharmaceutical consulting.
Okay.
So I do client relationships.
So same thing. It's like you're in client relationship. You're dealing with people. And I'm sure you notice, like, depending on how your energy is, those people may mirror your energy. And if you have like a big important meeting, you visualize the night before and feel how you want that meeting to go. And guess what? You can manifest bonuses. You can manifest raises. We have the ability to do this, even if there's no proof. Even if you say, well, they only give raises on this time of the year. They only give raises, once a year. Blah, blah, blah. Or how in Italian, babidi boobity, like whatever, like in Italian. Like it doesn't matter what the rules are. You can bend the rules. And so that's what we learn to do. We learn to bend the matrix, okay? So that you are able to flow easily and align to this reality so that you can thrive. You can thrive and continue to thrive because guess what, Danielle and everyone else watching, you were born to thrive. We weren't born to like constantly struggle. Yes, we are triggered. And yes, things sometimes feel like a struggle, but it's how we view the struggle and how we react to it. Does that make sense? So very easy to understand. You can read a bunch of books, but it's about reprogramming your subconscious. Because how many people tell me, I've been doing affirmations. I keep saying, I am this, I am, but it's not working. Why isn't it working? Because the conscious mind's like, I am, I'm following the rules. Why isn't it working? Because the subconscious is like, no, you're not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, we don't want to be that. Last time we were powerful, wealthy, whatever, they killed us. They betrayed us. So stop shining so bright. Go hide. Go hide. And you're like taking a course on how to be seen and how to do social media content, and you keep feeling stuck because your subconscious is like, no, don't do it. They're gonna hang you. They're gonna burn you. Like, it's like, no one's gonna burn you and hang you. So I'm so happy that you were able to come on. Any final questions, or do you want to just like DM me and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so I promised you a download. So let's download. I know, and is it okay if I do the download, or would you like to know what it feels like to surrender to the divine flow of life and to be able to flow in the energy of trust and a deep knowing that everything is always working out for you, and knowing what it feels like to release resistance to upgrading yourself to a higher version of you. Is that okay? Would you like to know?
Yeah.
Okay, so just keep breathing. I'm sorry?
Please.
So just keep breathing in and out of your nose, and I'm just going to download that on all levels: core, genetic, history, and soul, resolving on the history. Yeah, I'm really feeling like your throat chakra is like, but what? Like, I just feel your throat chakra really coming in strongly. So just doing an overall balancing for all of your chakra energy centers and balancing your brain chemicals. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and we need to do some healing for your heart as well. There's like old grief and things in your heart that I just picked up on. And it's all connected, right? The throat is connected to your heart, and then like the resistance, regret, and all these things. Solar plexus. Yeah, but the heart is coming in strongly because there's a lot of, yeah, I'm feeling like old betrayal as well. Yeah, so what's coming in strongly is that you have been resisting letting yourself cry without feeling bad about it. Like it's coming in really like I felt your emotion, like you get to like really feeling and then you stop. Or if you get or if you do cry, it's like you feel really bad about it. So downloading, I know what it feels like to feel my emotions. I know what it feels like to feel safe feeling my emotions. I know what safety feels like. I have the creator's definition of safety. I know what it feels like to be sweet and gentle with myself. I know what it feels like to allow myself to cry without feeling guilty, without feeling like a victim. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. And just downloading a healing tone for you as well, for your heart. Take a nice deep breath. And when you get to the top of that breath, hold and take in a little bit more, and then release and let go. Yeah, so definitely need to go deeper into doing, because there's some other past lives I'm picking up on that are connected to all this. It's like your heart is very fragile. And I see a loop between your prefrontal cortex and like it's like thinking and feeling, and it's like a loop going back and forth. I see you nodding.
Yep.
All right, my dear.
I was gonna say, when I first saw you, I think safety was a big problem, and so I've worked on helping myself to feel safe, and now I think it's being able to soften and not be in that, I call it my robot mode of feeling nothing is safe. Now I'm trying to soften, and in this new relationship, be vulnerable, be sweet, allow someone to help me. And so yeah, ready for the next level.
Yes. And Sonia, yes, I believe Sonia's next. So yeah, there you go. You're ready for the next level. And really it's like the next level already exists. It's just a matter of aligning to it. You know what I mean? That's what the only reason you want something, the only reason I could even use the example, like the only reason you left that because this was already waiting for you. You know what I mean? It's like you knew. kind of like anything, like anytime I feel like something's wrong and I'm being wronged, it's because I know that I'm supposed to be doing this other thing, and I'm not supposed to leave a certain place because something else is supposed to happen, and so everything else feels like it's forced. And then that's when I go, you know what? I'm not making any decision right now because I know that there's like, I just know it. It's like, why did I not fully feel happy in real estate? I was making great money, and most people in real estate, that's all they focus on. But for me, I could feel this like lingering nudge that there's something else. Like, yes, I'm making people's dreams come true. Yes, I'm, doing something really important, but I feel like there's something else I'm supposed to be doing. But then I hit a point where I was like, I was getting frustrated. And then I was like, you know what? There is a reality where I can manifest amazing clients easily while still writing, because at the time I thought it was the writing. I didn't know about the healing yet. I hadn't had that horrible heartbreak yet to like force me and like nudge me into, you're either going to die or you're going to step into this new version of you. So there was a period where I was like, you know what? I'm going to surrender. I'm going to work on this script, this story that I've been wanting to work on. And I'm going to trust and believe that the right clients are going to come to me. No joke. That same night, like we're talking within an hour and a half, 2 hours after my shower, I had a voicemail from a client literally wanting to buy a house for $1.5 million. And they just found me online. Like they literally just found me online. I don't know. I was like, I didn't even have active listings at the time. So I don't even know how they found me because nothing was active for them to like, it's not like they came into my open house. But this is a perfect example of like from nothing, all of a sudden it's here because you are aligning to it. So as long as you believe that it's already happening without seeing proof, it doesn't have a choice but to happen. So literally, like, I think I put them into escrow and closed them within like no more than a month from that phone call. And I remember I almost didn't call them back because I was like, is this a prank? Is this like one of those, like, because real estate agents and brokers, we get like the most amount of calls of like every vendor trying to sell us flyers, sellers, whatever app, whatever CRM, whatever, like constantly trying to sell us stuff. Mortgage lenders, I can do a better loan for your buyer. Escrow officers, I charge less fees for your seller. Like nonstop. So when I got that phone call, I'm like, they're getting really creative. They're telling me that they want to buy a house for 1.5. So like that was the left brain. Like, no way. Like this is not a real lead. But let's call them anyway. And like the first 10 minutes I'm talking to the lady, I'm like kind of skeptical. I'm like, yeah, okay. Where do you want to live? Oh, okay. I'm like, what? How many bedrooms? And then I'm like, oh, it's a real buyer. It's like it's happening. Like so but the left brain's like, wait, what? Kind of like analogy to your situation. Like, I'm in a loving relationship, but am I gonna F it up? Like, is the same thing gonna happen? So okay. So so I look forward to your message. Just let me know when which days during the week usually work, or during the weekend, like what's best for you. And then we'll schedule something. So just like give me like, oh, I'm on this time zone, because I don't, is Arkansas CST? I don't know, or EST.
It is.
CST.
It is Central. Yeah.
Yeah. So just say like these times during this week, or during the week, typically like Fridays are good, or whatever, or Saturday or something. Just let me know. The sun, there's like a giant glare. I can't even see. See, the sun is bright, shining bright for you, Danielle. And it's rare to have the Scottish sun, so you're blessed with the magical Scottish sun. Because if we had sun here all the time, gosh, we'd be so powerful. Just be like, I don't know, just rule the world. And that's why they block the sun most of the time. But that's a different conversation for another day. Okay, so and like now I'm seeing, like, if you watch this on YouTube, there's literally like two of me almost. There's like a shadow. It's like a film noir. So all right, my dear, we'll chat soon, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Same here. Thank you.
All right, much love. Take care. Bye. Okay, so while Danielle is exiting out, my gosh, this glare is crazy. Okay, so yes, Sonia, you were next. So go ahead and request. And it's Sonia, Regina, and then Maya. Who else? Sonia, Regina, Maya, and yeah, that's what we have so far. Okay, Sonia, are you still with me? If you're still with me, Sonia, go ahead and request to be in the video, and I'll bring you on. Okay. All right. So for everyone else here, thank you for holding space. And then I don't know if the other person, I can't, just Paula. I don't know who Paula is. Who's Paula? Sonia said Paula put the hearts in. I didn't see that. Okay. Sonia, are you still with us? Oh, you're driving now. Got it. Okay. Okay, so who's next? You can go after the next person. Yes, I see you text. Sorry, I was scrolling, so I didn't see that you said, can you go after Regina? Regina, are you still with us? If you are with us, just request to be in the video. And after Regina, if Sonia's not driving, Sonia can go. And if you're still driving, then Maya. Regina, are you still with us? If not Maya, are you still with us? So if Regina's not with us, I'll go to Maya and then I'll go to Sonia. Regina, okay, so go ahead and request, and then Maya's next. It's like the lighting on YouTube is getting crazy with this giant glare. I should plan better. So you're just gonna hit to be in the request to be in the live. I feel like I should I'm gonna close the blind. As much as I love basking in the sun. Okay, no, it's halfway. Okay, all right, here we go. Okay. And by the way, as Regina is joining, I know I pinned the application. Welcome, my dear. Good to see you again. We just had our private session last weekend. First time, and you're still alive.
I made it. I made it after the session. Breathing.
You're breathing. I remember you messaged saying you feel a lot less anger, so that's good. So so what was I going to say? Okay, so what I pinned here, applycaa.com, that's for my Conscious Agent Academy. That is for anyone who would like to master being a conscious agent in whatever business you're in, upgrade your life. And we also have a division there for healers. If you would like to learn how to do what I do and also just learn it for yourself to be able to do it for others, like your family, not just like as a business. So, but if any of you want to actually just focus on the healing part, you can still use that application and just mention somewhere in the application that you're looking to work in my Heal and Manifest program. And then anyone else who's curious about going deeper with healing their inner child, just send me a message either now or after this live, not in the comments, but just send me a message and let me know, and I can send you the link to join my Open Heart Healing Portal, because that way you can start doing things on your own time and allow yourself to go deeper. So I have various options for people. So it's not just about, doing one thing or another, but we always focus on healing. All right, my dear. So thank you for holding space and for being here and allowing yourself to be present. So do you give me permission to, I don't know why everything is just, let me get out of because I can't see you, because for some reason all the chats are blocking you. Okay, there you are. Okay, so do you give me permission to scan your mind, body, and soul to see what is it that we need to work on right now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So for anyone else watching, just please hold space for Regina, and I'm just gonna tune in. And Regina, just take a couple deep breaths. and allow yourself to tune in and be present. The first thing I'm picking up is I'm still picking up just some, obviously, like we just started, so it's still processing. There's still some anger. I'm just picking up on your liver. So just some tension in your liver that I'm picking up on, like instantly, like as soon as you came on. So let me just tune in and see what we need to know. What came in really strongly is like your ego is like fighting you because your ego has been trying to keep you safe, right? And so now that you started this healing journey, your ego's like, but we know better, but we should do this, but we should, there's like a little bit like kind of like a fight back, like a kind of like a resistance, but we're used to pain. The pain is keeping us safe. The pain is keeping us from being seen. Like I was giving the example, like if you feel good and you're going to do all this stuff, all of a sudden, you're seen more and you're not used to being seen more, and what's going to happen because the last, so let me see, and this is really interesting. And I always point this out to the students of my Conscious Agent Academy. The moment I acknowledge whatever it is, I no longer feel that. Like I no longer feel it on my body. So it's almost like you're an antenna to what is energetically happening, which is manifested physically in the body. But as soon as you bring awareness to it, it's almost like the pain is knocking on the door. And if you keep resisting, you don't open the door, it's going to keep knocking. But the moment you open, you go, hey, you have the right to exist. And the pain goes, thank you for acknowledging me. It stops knocking. So, okay, let's see. Yeah, so, and it's interesting, you just yawned. So because you've gotten so used to like looping and knowing, as I mentioned earlier for others and in our previous session that we had privately, it's like there was like a lot of looping in the brain. And so that's why, like when you work with me in our sessions, you start to yawn because you start to relax. You're in the theta wave and you're not used to being this relaxed. You know what I mean? Not that you don't relax, but it's like when you're sleeping versus like right now you're going between alpha and theta. So to be able to be relaxed and be awake. Mm-hmm. So that's what's happening. So it's like we're bridging the gap. We're getting you more. And the reason why you're falling asleep because when you're relaxed, you're either sleeping. When you're awake, you're go and overthinking. And because the overthinking, we're starting to slow down, you're getting tired. And you're like, it's like, it happened to me, by the way, in the beginning. I remember I did like a virtual retreat online for 5 days, all about becoming present. And I was falling asleep so often. And I was like, is this normal? And I'd go in and out because I was sick, because I was mostly in real estate, left brain, always doing things, paperwork, contracts, dealing with 500 people at once. And that's why when I try to do past life regression before sleep, I would just pass out. Like I would listen like 5 minutes and then. So let's see. Yeah, so throat chakra needs to open up more. And there's a little bit of resistance there. Let's see what else. When did we have our session? Was it Saturday or Saturday? Was this Friday? Saturday?
No, it was definitely not on Saturday.
I think it was it Friday?
I don't remember.
So it's been a few days.
Yeah, for sure it's been a few days.
It's been a few days, and I remember, I think the next day or the day after, you said you're feeling less anger. And so remember how I said it takes 3 sleeping cycles? So things are still processing. So a lot of what I'm witnessing right now, it's things processing. So if I say, oh, throat chakra blockage, it doesn't mean that it's like so like nothing happened from our session. It's like still processing and opening up. So, and like I said, sometimes it takes longer than 3 sleep cycles. Yeah, so the self-blame cycle is also processing. There's still some self-blame because remember, it's like you have these patterns and you've been used to these patterns. So when all of a sudden you don't see them, you can go look for them, right? So really being conscious not to go look for it. It's almost like you had pain in your right leg for whatever 2 years, and then all of a sudden you don't have pain. But where's the pain? I always have pain on this side. Where is it? I don't feel it. So don't go looking for it. So let's see what else. Yeah, so it just there's more of an integration happening, like I said, between your conscious and subconscious. It's like being in the knowing, I know this, I know this, I know this, now into feeling and bridging the gap. Okay, let's see what we need to know besides that. So just continue taking deep breaths or breathing normally, tuning into your heart. Okay, so what's coming up is I don't want to repeat old cycles. I don't want to make the mistakes I've made in the past. So you're hyper aware of not repeating old patterns. But the reason why this is coming up, it's almost like being so hyper aware of not repeating them that you're thinking about them too much. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's kind of like the example, not a perfect analogy, but it's like I have debt to pay off. I have debt to pay off. I have debt to pay off. I'm aware of not getting any more debt, so I'm not in debt. I'm not in debt, and that's taking your energy away from just bringing in more abundance and surrendering and relaxing into it. So yes, it's important to be aware of your old patterns and not repeat them, but not obsess over not repeating them. You know what I mean? So instead, choosing a new reality, and I am not that person. That was an old version of me. So let's like somewhat of a role play. So when an old, like I'm you, and this old program comes in and I go, no, we're not going there. No, we're not repeating that. I don't want to keep doing this. I've done this many times. I'm not doing it. So instead of that, this is what you should do, or not should, because I never say, I never really want to say should, what you could do, or just a suggestion to try. So, old program coming in and I go, the old me was going, or the old you was going, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Perfect example is, okay, I dated an Aries and it was terrible, and I'm not going to date an Aries. I'm not dating, Aries doesn't work for me. And you keep thinking, what are you doing? You're thinking Aries. Who are you going to meet? Who are you going to meet? You're going to meet Aries. Did I trigger you enough? Like, here's another Aries, because you clearly want to just, trigger yourself more. So instead of that, I go, oh, you know what? Not all Aries are the same. And you know what? I trust, my soulmate, my divine life partner is going to be whatever sign. I'm not going to be attached to the sign so much as their heart. And I'm just, I'm good. Like, I know I used to think about this negative stuff, and I know I'm trying really hard not to repeat this pattern. But instead of trying not to repeat a pattern, why not choose a new pattern? So I'm going to choose a new pattern. So before, if I went to this coffee shop and I used to think about all the things and make a list of all the things I'm not supposed to be doing, I'm going to go to a new coffee shop, or the same coffee shop if there's no other one around, and sit at a different table and sit facing north instead of south. And I'm going to bring a book, or I'm going to walk a different direction instead of taking this route. Instead of taking the train, maybe I'll whatever, so changing a pattern. So instead of trying not to repeat an old pattern and thinking about it too much, choosing a new pattern. And it's as simple as walking instead of taking the train. You know what I mean? Just like little things like that do matter. So let's see. And not overcomplicating things, right? Like I'll give you like a silly example where before today's session, I had a window of time where I was going to record some content, but then I realized, oh, I'm out of steak, and I wanted to get the steak from the store that's like, I have to, go further. And I was like, but I really want it, because then after the session, I could make my steak, and I want that steak. And then I thought to myself, like, well, that's going to take me away from doing this other stuff that I have to do. And why not just make an easier decision? And after I'm finished with the session, I'll just walk to the nearby store that I usually go to, and I'll just get what they have. And then tomorrow morning, I'll go to that other store instead of rushing, because this other store is in a, area that I like to walk around, and I don't like to rush. So really the main download we need to do for you is being able to view each situation and challenge from more than one angle. That's a big one.
Okay.
Because that's actually like, if your neck, because I used to always think I have to do it like this, and my mom told me this, and then the neck. So the neck pain I got was not just from the heavy backpack of my Catholic school that I went to, that I was forced to go to private school and carry all these backpacks. My neck pain wasn't just from that. It was also from the car accident that I had. But the car accident was manifested because, I had certain belief programs regarding my neck, and then seeing past lives where I was hung as a healer, because back in the day we were witches, and I would get burned or get thrown into a dungeon, whatever. And so the body carries these programs in your subconscious that manifest physically. So the neck, the main program has to do with being able to view each situation from more than one angle. And like, for example, like also being flexible, which also has to do with your knee. So if you have knee pain, it's because you're not being flexible in life, because the knee needs to bend and float, to be able to get you from point A to point B without feeling restricted. And if you feel resistance in your jaw, it's because, or if you feel tension in your jaw, it's because you're experiencing some kind of resistance. So the body is showing you that which is already been happening on the subconscious level. Just like the liver is what? Anger, right? Anger, resentment, which is also kidneys. So let's see, what else do we need to know? So before we move on, would you like to know what it feels like to be able to view each situation or challenge from more than one angle?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to witness that download, and anyone else who is open to receiving that download, you can do that. Just close your eyes. It's always good, because you're closing your eyes, you're detaching from, the left brain. So downloading, I know what it feels like to view each situation from more than one angle. It is safe for me to process multiple solutions without being attached to any one solution. It is safe for me to be open to change. It is safe to change. I don't have to stay stuck just to feel safe. Is that okay?
Yes.
I know.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry?
I was like, absolutely okay.
So I know what it feels like to receive without the need to steer and control. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So just witnessing those downloads into your prefrontal cortex, because that's the logical part. I need to do it like this. We're going to do it like this. This is what it takes to go from point A to point B. So constant analyzing. So downloading, I know what it feels like to tap into my inner wisdom and be able to trust and surrender, even though I don't see it manifested in the physical yet. Even though I can't see physical proof, I still know what it feels like to tap into my inner wisdom of that reality already existing and calling me in. Because the only reason you want all these things, as I said earlier, is because it already exists, and you just have to come into alignment with it. So focusing more on gratitude, which is what we talked about in our first session. So knowing what it feels like to be grateful, knowing how to be grateful, knowing the creator's definition of gratitude. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So continue breathing in and out of your nose normally and downloading healing for your heart, all your energy centers, balancing your brain chemicals. Downloading, I have the creator's definition of what it feels like to be sweet. I have the creator's definition of what it feels like to be in my feminine energy without feeling weak.
Yeah.
That was right.
Yeah, totally.
I know what it feels like to receive without feeling weak.
Yes.
I know what it feels like to give without the need to control.
Yes.
I know what it feels like to trust that everything is working out for me.
Yes.
I know what it feels like to relax into love,
Yes.
into abundance, into gratitude, into compassion.
Yes.
Thank you. So just witnessing those downloads. And I know what it feels like to be supported in life. It feels
Yes.
good to be supported in life. It feels good to relax into supporting myself
Yes.
without feeling lost, without
Yes.
feeling alone.
Yes.
I know what it feels like to be open to receiving support without feeling weak.
Yes.
Okay. Take a nice deep breath into your heart, allowing your heart to receive without judgment, without fear. I know what it feels like to live my life without the fear of the unknown future. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you. So downloading everything for you on all levels, resolving on the history, and this is for your past, present, future lives, internet of bodies, internet of children, internet energies in the highest and best way for all dimensions of time and space in all languages. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. So I don't know about you, but I feel like your energy is like way more zen now.
Yeah, I definitely feel like after our last session, after we worked together, I feel a lot more receptive. But I also noticed this like part of me that is, it's not resistance, just shielding me. It's a defense mechanism. But I also started feeling myself being more receptive and being more aware of the anger coming up and of the defense mechanisms and the fear also. So I've just become more, I think, in tune with that.
Yeah, totally. And remember that's, I think I mentioned, did I mention resistance? I think, yeah, I did mention resistance. So it's normal because it's like you're going through the reprogram. I think the first thing that came up was ego. I said like the ego is like, but wait, like we know better. And there is a reason for the madness. Like your ego is trying to justify the pain and justify everything else. So it's when I talk about dissolving the ego, it's not like, oh, I get rid of my ego. It's dissolving its resistance, dissolving its dominance in your life. Right? So let's see. Let's see if there's anything else. Trust is a big one. So it's like you're so in our next session we can go deeper in that, but it's trust is a big one where it's like you're trying to dip your toe into trusting more, and it's not something that's been easy for you. So let's
100%.
Yeah. So Yeah, because you've seen throughout your life, and it's not just what you've seen throughout your life, but you've also had these subconscious programs running that you view trust as weakness. Does that make sense?
No, not as a weakness. Maybe I don't identify with that word, but I think because of life experiences, my trust has been taken advantage of and broken so many times that now it's like you have to prove yourself in order for me to trust you. Like everyone is circumspect.
So great. This is a great explanation. Thank you for explaining. So what are words, right? But the way you explained it, you're staying in your power by making sure somebody proves themselves before you trust them. So in a way, you could say it's a weakness not to do that. You want to be strong, you want to protect yourself. So what are words? So really it's just another way, like, because what comes in from your subconscious is like, I don't want to be weak and just trust anyone. Like it's not worth my time and people don't deserve it. And this is a really important program because a lot of people, not just women, can go into this vibration of like, I'm not going to trust until they prove themselves. And it's a healthy pattern, but it can also block you. So yes, you want to say, my trust is not easily given. Somebody has to prove their trust, but in a way where your heart is still open and you're not going, I'm not going to, you know what I mean? So because it's all about like, are you relaxing into the trust, but still staying aware? Or are you looking at it like, no, I'm not going to trust? Because then that's a negative. Because if you're choosing the vibration of I'm not going to trust, then what is that doing? It's attracting people who are going to question your trust, who you are not going to be able to trust. So not saying all the time, but that's like, it's like you're constantly going to be triggered. Like, can I trust this person? See, I was right. Because what is your ego doing? Trying to prove you right.
It's almost like I'm afraid to trust because I've trusted the wrong people before. It's the fear of trusting.
And so what is that? An old pattern, kind of like I give the example, the last time I dated an Aries or the last time I did this. So because this happened in the past, I now am afraid it's going to happen again. And that's once again the ego. The ego is like, we only know, because the ego only knows that which has already happened. Versus your soul is like, your soul has programs. Okay, so it's hard to get into all the details in these lives. That's why I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing this.
New experience. I need a new reference point for trust, where trusting somebody was safe and beautiful and it worked out, where they didn't like.
Right. And so. Right. And so then like we look into what is the program that created this trust, like the distrust. Like for example, in our first session that we did was that lifetime that came up where you lost your baby. And I'm trying to remember all the details. And so people betrayed you. And so that created several, programs. And so in the next time, something else may come up, like in this one, whatever's coming up. And then like each time you are only presented with that which you are ready for. Because remember, we're bridging the conscious and the subconscious. That's why you're starting to relax more. And at some point, you're not going to yawn as much in our sessions because you're going to be used to being relaxed. And you're not going to need to be asleep in order to be relaxed or yawn and whatever. But like I said, I used to do that too because I was in very much like left brain mode for a long time. And so going back to what I was saying about trust, so relaxing into trust doesn't mean you're going to be a pushover and let people walk all over you, but you're going to be open. So your heart is open. It's not like, I studied law and worked as a paralegal before, and I thought I wanted to be an attorney. Oh, thank God I didn't. I'm not saying anybody who is made a wrong life choice, but it just wasn't for me. but there is this, the example of like the common law, right? You are innocent before you're proven guilty. But back in the day, anyway, whatever the terms, in the olden days, it was you're guilty before you're proven innocent. And then it changed to you are innocent before you're proven guilty, right? Once you're proven guilty, you go to jail, you go to prison, whatever. But in the old days, like the witch hunt trials, once again, as an example, they would throw you in the dungeon and you'd be in the dungeon and you'd be stuck there and you'd be punished and sometimes even killed, most of the time killed without a trial. And so I'm not saying like open yourself up to everybody, but most importantly, keep yourself open to your higher self. So the ego goes, this happened. We don't want it to happen again because we know this is what happens every time we trust someone. We are not going to trust. And then you're going to attract someone who you cannot trust. So you could say, I was right. Versus, you know what, I'm going to be open and I choose to attract loving people. And I choose to, most importantly, trust who? Myself. So, because if you trust yourself and you surrender to your own love, then you become a mirror to that on the external. Someone's like triggering you, like calling, like.
I don't know. Yeah, I have a work call coming in.
Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you for tuning in, my love. All right, see you on our next private. Okay, who was next? Oh, Sonia is finally with us. So we're gonna go from one rolling into the next one. Okay, so depending on the time, how quickly we can do this, I don't know if I'll be able to do one more. I'll do my best. Who was next? Can you put in, whoever was next, can you put in, because it's taking me too long. There's too many to scroll up. So if you could just put in the heart emojis if you were after Sonia, but most likely Sonia will be the last. Oh, Maya. Okay, Maya, you're still here. So Sonia, I just accepted your request, but I don't know if you're back to driving. So let us know if you are able to come on. If not, I'm going to go to Maya. You are? Okay, so just request to be in the video again so I can accept it. And hydrate. Hydrate. Okay, so go ahead and request again. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna do it. See if it says you're unable to join. You're not driving, but when I sent you the request, it says you're unable. So go ahead and send me a video request. But I do have to move pretty quickly because I can't. Okay, there you are. Okay. All right, Maya, I'm going to do my best to get to you. So let's just see how this rolls. And if you don't get a chance to go, I'll try to work on you next. Hello, my dear.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. You're in a warm place somewhere. I see lots of sun.
Yeah.
Are you the one in Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So have you been watching before today's session and any other sessions or any replays, so you kind of have an idea what's going on?
Yes. You sent me an invitation in my email. I have been following you for a long, long time.
Oh, great. That literally, like, you read my mind, or I read yours, because I was about to ask if you're on my email list. Okay, wonderful. So, all right. So do give me permission. And it does help for you to not walk around. Just try to like be still somewhere, sit or stand. Even if you're standing, just as long as you're standing, just it helps the reception and everything. So do I have your permission to scan your mind, body, and soul to see what it is that we need to uncover during today's session?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, my dear. All right. And have you had a chance to have some water? I don't know if you heard me say, drink water. Okay, perfect. All right. So just take a couple deep breaths as you need to, whether into your heart or your belly, whatever feels good for you. Take a nice deep breath and allow yourself to receive. And I'm just going to tune in and see what we need to know right now that is in your highest and best. So what's coming up is you've been kind of looping and blaming yourself for things that happened in your past. And it's like you're in this loop and constant blame and you don't know how to get out of it. Your eyes just, her eyes got big. So that's a yes. Okay. So let me see. Would you say this has been months or years? It feels like years.
Years.
Yeah. So yeah, and you're very sensitive to people's energies and you get triggered really easily. Like someone says something, you're like, oh, like right away it takes you to the old thing. It takes you to the, yeah, and so sometimes like you don't even want to be around people because you're like, I just need my space. But then sometimes you have to be around people and it's like, when is this going to end? When is this going to end? And you have a hard time. Oh, and I'm feeling like a huge activation happening on your right side right now. It's like whatever I said, like opened up a portal. So let me see. Yeah, you have a hard time protecting your energy. Like you're so sensitive to other people's energies that sometimes you think it's your own, but it's not. And so, do you sometimes hear things beyond this dimension? Yeah. Yeah, I just heard like it's like, an angel is whispering or like you hear guidance, but like you don't like sometimes you listen, sometimes you don't. Do you have detailed dreams?
Yes.
Yeah. Um yeah, so you're like heavily protected, like huge goosebumps. I mean, all of us are, but like I'm just picking up it's like oh my gosh, like huge goosebumps. Yeah, it's like the time for you to awaken is here. And you're like, what do I do? Like, what should I do next? And what do I do? What does this mean? What am I supposed to do? And like you're questioning, and then you get triggered, you get distracted, and then you blame yourself and you get distracted, and then you feel someone else's pain, you're like, oh no, this is too much. And so not having the ability to discern between other people's thoughts and feelings and your own thoughts and feelings. So I feel like you're not giving yourself enough time to be present with yourself. So, did your child tune in or someone else? I don't know. Somebody. Like, what is she being? Huh?
My daughter is on here.
Oh, your daughter's like, what's my mom talking to the world doing what? So this is part of like this is part of being vulnerable and because it's like stepping into the light, right? And not being afraid of who sees you. So let's see. Yeah, it's like you're saying, I don't know what is real. Like, because you've been tapping into different like dimensions where you see things, but then you like, no, this is like too much for me. This is too much for me. This is like woo woo. This is I'm not ready for this. And then you go back into the looping and the looping. Does this resonate? So how long have you been in this looping? I know you said the other part was years. Has this been more prominent lately, like in the last like few months?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm picking up also like you have a hard time sharing your feelings with people because you don't want to be judged, and you feel like if there are certain things you will share or say, you may lose people, or there's just fear of not belonging. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So do you feel that, okay, let me just rephrase. Do you feel like, let me ask, what is the reason you're afraid besides of what I mentioned? What else do you feel, what else do you feel like is keeping you in fear of surrendering to your bridal? Someone's getting married. Um, I keep seeing like wedding store, like no matter what, like department. I can't even talk anymore. What is English? English is my third language. This is like proof that like what are words? But like I literally have seen more wedding gowns like randomly. Like I'll stop somewhere or like I take a bus to one part of like Edinburgh, Scotland, and have not driven since California, which was like a long time ago, a few months ago. So it's like I don't really miss it. Sometimes I do. I'm like, I want to drive in the PCH and look at all the burned down homes in Malibu. No, thank you. So sad. So okay, so I did not mean to say that, but like literally, like it breaks my heart to think like all these beautiful homes just completely like looks like a war zone. So yeah, so like I'll get off somewhere and it's either a church. There's like a church on every corner here, or a bridal shop with wedding dresses. Anyway, I did not get distracted. I'm going back to you. Okay, so, okay, like your daughter said, this is very spiritual, and then I had to lighten the mood. Like, we are humans after all. Okay, so let me just go back to where we were. So, what is happening? It's like you are you are being triggered like no it's not like it's a coincidence that there's other people who just had similar experiences where they're being triggered into upgrading because what happened in 2020, what happened even before that, we've been constantly nudged into upgrading. So if you didn't upgrade in 2020, it doesn't mean if you upgraded in 2020 you can't keep upgrading, because the whole point of being human, being in this dimension of time, is to keep learning. Like some of you may have read, I think I sent out an email like after I went like totally in hiatus on my email.
I'm not supposed to move. Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's a little bit taking great directions. She's like, I'm not moving. So even though I've done all this work and I've done all these upgrades, I shared in an email and also in my Instagram stories lately how after releasing a horrible trauma from this lifetime I saw in North Berwick, Scotland, which is known for like huge witch trials for all these women that were, and men too, that were killed for like no reason. So after releasing that trauma, I got upgraded way more. And I feel it too, like where before, if I needed to meditate for an hour or 2 hours, now I can just like, sometimes I still want to do that, but now I can just go 5 minutes, boop, 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 done. And like, need to reprogram, done. I just got like super traumatized by this person, not staying in that pain because I know what happens when I stay in it. But most of us humans, we stay in it, and I used to do the same. So even though I got upgraded in 2018 and I still got upgraded in 2019, then 2020, like we're always getting upgraded. If you're not getting upgraded, you're doing what? You're downgrading, right? So the goal is to constantly allow yourself to upgrade and to receive. And so what happens is because some people are not doing that, you are afraid, you being one of the people I'm talking about, you're afraid that if you upgrade and everyone else doesn't, you're not going to belong anymore. And that you may be looked at as she's too spiritual, she's too whatever, she thinks she's better than us. So it's like, how many people go like, I rather just stay where I'm used to staying, and this is safe. And so, but you're being nudged, like, hey, wake up. So anything you want to add to this before I see if there's anything else that comes in?
Actually, that's true. Very.
What was that?
Very true. Everything that you said is very true. I don't like to be judged. I don't like people to feel
that I'm better because I hear that always. You think you better? No, actually I don't. So everything that you are saying definitely resonate. Definitely.
So what do you feel like is standing in your way the most besides everything we talked about and all these people? Like, what do you feel like is standing in your way the most?
Me.
So, hey, at least you're aware of it. So, what do you feel like you need to do to get out of your own way?
Oh, that's a question I always ask myself.
Okay.
That's where I'm stuck at.
Got it. Okay, so what if you did know? What would it be? What if you did know?
Then I would start living and being who I am supposed to be, who I know I have always been.
Okay. So what is stopping you from doing that?
I don't know. I think it's just judgment of people.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. So for those of you watching and for you to know as well, this is a conscious way of understanding, and you can program by understanding and gaining that awareness, but just having this awareness on the conscious level is not enough. So the whole point of this is so that I can do a remote scan of your subconscious to see what is it on the subconscious level that is causing this. That makes sense?
Yes.
So it's understanding that you're stuck, understanding that it's because you're afraid of judgment. So these are all surface level beliefs, but now we need to find out why. Okay. So do you give me permission to find out why?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just like, once again, I am not guiding it personally. I'm just open to your higher self guiding me to show me what is it that we need to know, whether it's a past life, childhood, whatever. Okay. So just take a couple deep breaths and just be fully present in your heart. So what came up right away, I'm open to receiving, but I don't know how to receive. So let me see. I don't know how to receive because I've always been told I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough to receive. So I don't know how to receive because I never experienced receiving because I was always told I'm not good enough to receive. And this is coming in from your childhood. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
It's okay if let yourself feel whatever comes up, and just downloading love for you, being open to love, allowing yourself to receive. So, and feeling safe, allowing yourself to feel your emotions. Okay. Just everyone send love to Sonia, hold space for her, and just send her as much love as you can. So let me see. Yeah, so your soul is telling me you chose a hard life. You chose this like traumatic childhood. You chose all this stuff because you wanted to trigger yourself. You wanted to really like resolve as much karma as possible. And it's mirroring things from your past dimensions of time. Okay. Oh, I think she got either something happened with her phone or maybe I have a feeling she was crying. So Sonia, if you watch this on replay or if you come back on, we can finish the download. So, understanding that it's okay to receive without feeling weak, because this is a perfect example. If you're not ready to receive or if you feel bad about receiving, hearing that and understanding it can be painful. And also at the same time, really make you feel, what is the word? Not just vulnerable, but almost like you feel sorry for yourself because you see yourself as this little child who was not loved the way she wished to be loved. So thank you, Sonia, for having the courage to come on, please feel free to message me privately. I'll send you a meditation to help you process everything more. And any questions, please don't hesitate. Oh, so your phone overheated. I had a feeling it was a computer glitch, but typically things like technical things happen because right before it overheated, there's energetic, because we're on Instagram. Instagram does use up a lot of energy, and you're in Texas. It's warmer there, and also your energy. So so no worries. So we can always just send me a private message, and we can I'll give you some assistance that way. Maya, are you still on? We can do a quick one, and then I do need to end because I always say I'm going to go an hour, and it ends up being 2 hours, and we're, I think, just over 2 hours now. So Maya, my dear, let me know if you're still on, and I'll do a quick scan. And then for the group session, since we've run out of time, just trust that all the downloads I did for everyone that's come on live, you're welcome, Sonia. Go ahead and Maya request to be on the live. So just trust that if you were here witnessing, holding space, that you have been receiving as well. And I will make sure to send out the replay via my email list. So if you're not on my email list, you can go to the Instagram link in my bio and you can join my email list to get any notifications, to get inspirational emails. Sometimes I share cool stories, and I will be releasing my new masterclass. So if you're on my email list, or if you're in my Heal and Manifest program on Instagram here, not program, the community, then you will be getting a special offer for the masterclass, which will be the very last weekend of April, because I know this weekend is Easter, so that's why I didn't have it this weekend. So Maya, my dear, let me know if you can come on. I'm just gonna, while you're coming on, I'm gonna grab a quick bottle of water. Okay, thank you everyone for your patience. I just needed to get water, more water, always drinking water. Okay, all right, Maya, my dear, welcome, welcome. This is the first time I left the live and came back. Hello.
Hi.
I'm like
How's it going?
looking at each screen. Welcome, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be on with you right now.
I know, I've seen you in my, messages, stories, so I recognize your Instagram handle, so I know you've been following my page for quite some time.
Yeah, I have. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you had a little bit more time. So
yeah, I don't usually, this is the first time we did, how many? You're the fourth person. Oh my God, I am rolling today. Because usually I think I don't do more than two. But like I said, everything's been happening faster, and with my own upgrades, spiritual and just helping the physical as well. So, so thank you for your patience. Thank you for holding space for everyone else that was here. So nice having you and being open to receiving. And you're on my email list too, right? So
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
So
I
you
need to double check.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you got the notification that way, but if you're not, just I think I added you at some point. I can't remember. So all right. So do you give me permission to check into your subconscious programs and see what we need to resolve, like what needs to come up for you right now in your highest and best. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. You're so cute. You're like, I'm ready. Ready to do this. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Nice deep breath. And just center yourself in your heart. So the first thing that's coming up before I'm even like fully tapped in is your truth. Like you're having a hard time stepping fully into your truth. So let's just see what else. Yeah, you've been busy. Lots. It's so many things. Like you're trying to figure out relationships. You're trying to figure out. It's like you're. Have you been reading a lot of books? Like, are you doing a lot of research? Like,
I actually haven't had a lot of time to read, but I've been wanting to. But you're right. Like my life has been super busy lately. Like starting a new job, breaking my arm, trying to navigate my mother being in town. It's just been a lot going on, and I'm like, trying to stay centered because it's just been like so overwhelming, and I was just feeling so depleted last week, and I was like, but I'm finally like coming back to my center, and yeah, but it's been a lot.
yeah, like I said, you've been busy. So okay,
Yeah.
so let's see. What do we need to know? What do we need to know? What else do we need to know? So you're trying to get an understanding what freedom is, like true freedom. What does it really feel like to feel free? What is, like, you're trying to understand what freedom really means, and based on like what you've been taught what freedom is, what it's been looking like for other people, almost feeling like, well, if I'm free, does that mean I don't care about other people? Like, is it selfish to want to be free? So you're kind of like over intellectualizing. Does that resonate?
Yeah, I literally wrote something to that effect. Like telling my boyfriend, like, I feel selfish just being on my own free agenda, just doing whatever I want and not like being so wrapped up in like serving and like other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's coming in strongly. So what about you? Do you remember your dreams?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a feeling you did. And I'm sure you've heard me talk about this before. I'm just going to bring it up for anyone else who needs to hear it. When you remember your dreams, that means your alpha waves are pretty active because you're always having the dreams. But the reason why some people don't remember them is because, remember how I mentioned earlier when Regina started yawning, I said, it's because you're not used to being relaxed. And so what happens when you get tired, you fall asleep. And so if a person is in too much left brain, they may not remember their dreams because there's no bridge between the conscious and the subconscious. So as you start to meditate more and relax, you'll be able to remember things more. Obviously you do, Maya, but anyone else who doesn't. So let's see what else. I'm hearing you're looking for guidance. Like you need guidance, like you just, not like you need someone to tell you what to do, but you're looking for guidance so that you're not like all over the place. Because it's hard for you to keep yourself accountable. Not that you don't get things done, you get things done, but it's almost like you put too much on your plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're trying to do it all and you're good at it, but then you're exhausted. And you rather focus on something more. So focusing on one thing and really allowing that to flourish, everything else will come into balance instead of trying to do everything and please everyone. So that's why the freedom came up earlier. Like when I tapped into the freedom, it's like you want to feel free. You don't want to feel it's like you feel overburdened.
Yeah, I feel like I I also like, I don't know. I really care about other people, and so I almost feel like, like that burden of like wanting to make sure everyone else is feeling good, and then that's like sometimes to my anyways.
So basically that's coming in from trying to keep the peace. Like, I don't know if I'm a Libra, so I'm always like trying to keep the peace and whatever.
Yeah.
What was that?
My sister is a Libra. I'm a Pisces.
I had a feeling you were water, and I was about to say my moon sign is Pisces. Because literally I felt like water energy, and that's what makes you so sensitive. Because Pisces, very sensitive, very intuitive, very tapped in, feminine energy, sacral chakra. Have you ever done my inner child? I don't know why I feel like you have or haven't. I can't remember. You haven't done? Okay, highly recommend you do it.
Okay.
Because that is going to also not just heal inner child. Oh, every time I move, like the YouTube, come back. The YouTube went, there you go. Because I moved too fast, the YouTube got very blurry for a second. I'm still. So people don't understand that healing your inner child isn't just about healing whatever happened and if there was any trauma or there wasn't. Like, for example, I've had clients that did not have childhood trauma in this life, but they had childhood trauma in other lifetimes. Okay, whether they're parallel, past, whatever you want to call them. And so they continue to repeat a pattern that doesn't make sense to them on the conscious level because they had a perfect, happy childhood in this life. But then when I tune into their subconscious, they were abused in a past life as a 5-year-old boy of a totally different nationality than they are in this life. Or if they're
this life for me.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think it's both. I can tell it was this life, but I think it's not just this life, because this life, most of the people, not most, everybody who has childhood trauma in this life, it's your soul triggering you into healing something much older beyond this timeline. Okay. Because remember, time doesn't exist. So the reason why I bring this up is because all of this overdoing for others and over caring, if we do inner child healing and go deeper, then you'll be able to have healthy boundaries for yourself, to protect yourself and not to overgive. And because that happens from trying to prove your worth. Yes, you have a good heart and you want to help people, but at the same time, there's a program of like, I'm creating value, which is raising my worthiness. You know what I mean? So like my mother does that. So she keeps trying to do things, and then she's expecting me to do the same thing. And I used to do that, but then I finally decided to break the program, the toxic cycle. It's like, so you only consider me worthy if I buy you presents, if I do this, and if I do that. But the moment I don't jump, when you say jump, I'm a terrible daughter. Okay. And so in the past, if I didn't want to be called that or made feel that way, then I would continue to do whatever was needed. But then what started happening? Resentment. Obviously, I'm telling you this because I'm not just telling you a story, because you can relate. And then resentment quietly starts to build until one day the teapot overboils. If you're lucky, because if it doesn't, you're just quietly going to suffer instead of like, I've had enough. And then that resentment turns into full-blown anger, and then whatever. But with you, I feel like you're like, no, I'm okay. I can do this. And your subconscious is like, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I definitely, this last weekend, my kettle overboiled and I let it all out. And I was just like, look, you're bringing down my high frequency. It feels like you're literally trying to diminish my shine. And I'm trying to celebrate this new job and you're not happy about, like, you can't be happy for me. Like, you're always bringing my energy down with fear and doubt and like, what could go wrong? And I was like, you need to stop. I can't handle it. Like, you know.
So being aware and recognize that that's what's happening so you can protect your energy, but at the same time, it's triggering you to do what?
Lash out, or my emotions just...
You're lashing out because you haven't done what? Protected your boundaries, healthy boundaries, self-love, doing things for yourself, filling your cup before filling others. And so you're lashing out at this person, but really you trained them in a way, right? Like I told my mother recently, I'm like, it's my fault that I keep coming back for more abuse. Okay. Because I can choose how I react, but it's just not pleasant for me to continue listening to this old record. And it's like, if I'm in a container that I need to stay in a certain vibration to help my clients, to help do whatever, big move coming up, going to a country I've never lived in before, you know, I need to take care of me, because if I crumble, everything else crumbles, and then I can't take care of my clients. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not focusing on, oh, I'm being selfish, I'm a terrible daughter. No, I am focusing on my life mission. Like, thank you for giving birth to me. Thank you for, but just because you gave birth to me doesn't mean you get to also kill me. Okay. Like, you're not my plug in, plug out. Like, you don't get to plug me in, plug me out as you please. Or keep me on a certain channel, because that's the channel that's safe for you. I have the remote. I'm allowed.
I literally said that to her. I'm like, Mom, it's like you have the freaking radio dial set to this channel, and I'm like, let's freaking get out of there so we can not be on the negative.
And that's funny, because I've actually never said it this way. And as I was saying, and I'm like, that's. I mean, I've said it in other, but so it's like I'm just channeling, you know. And I had a feeling it was your mom, because you said, you know, you brought up your boyfriend. I was like, no, it's her mom. And so no wonder I'm talking about my mother, right? So, I mean, I literally, like, if I told you what happened, you'd be like, how are you still alive? Like everybody would ask me, like some couple close people I shared this with. It's like, I was like, I'm alive. Like, I haven't died. Like, I'm still here. but like literally, and it's like, and there is also some jealousy there. So maybe there's jealousy there as well. But with mine, it's like there's jealousy because I can do things she can't. And so she has to find a way to belittle me that is like made up stories, you know, like made up stories. And no matter how much we heal our relationship, I still have to choose me. I still have to, and that triggers her, because guess what? She needs to go through deeper layers, right? But she's refusing to, because she's in the old programming. And I haven't done healing for her in a long time because of several reasons. But when I used to do healing for her, it's like, oh my God, our relationship was amazing. You know what I mean? And so when you start viewing your mother, she's literally, it's like viewing a child, a capricious child who wants to have their way. At the end of the day, they just want to be loved, but they don't know how. And so they also don't know how to express the love. And so they're going to look and focus on the negative. And they're focusing on the negative because they're in what? They're in pain. And so they're focusing on the pain. And they're looking for someone to blame. And why not blame you? Why not blame me? You know what I mean? Because they're perfect. There's nothing wrong with them. But they know they're not. But they're going to tell themselves that it's not my fault. Someone did this to me. Because those people, let me plug it in. Was that old commercial? Okay. I have my battery. I'm prepared, people.
Everything you're saying is like so on point. Like, yeah, just me trying to explain that to her and just like oh yeah, the jealousy thing. Like I told her, because she brought up something about her friend, getting this, in my mind, a miracle. All this money came to her because of a fire and whatever, and I could just tell that she was so jealous of her friend.
Oh my God, California fires? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm in California, but yeah, and I'm just like, Mom, like, how are you gonna sit here and be jealous of your friend? Like you should be like, I'm so happy that she got this gift from the universe, from God, handed to her. No one got hurt. She got money. You should be celebrating that for her. And instead you're sitting here going, well, I don't have that. Why don't I have that? Why don't I? And I'm like, you're literally blocking that from your
Yes.
from your reality, because you're just sitting in jealousy. Like, cut it out.
But she doesn't understand, right? So people who are in victim mode, it's like they have yet to go through the first layer of ego shedding. And so they're not aware. They're not aware of it. They're still like asleep, you could say, even though they get super triggered if you say they're asleep. Like, how dare you call me a zombie or a robot? It's like, well, you're in that low vibration. Jealousy is a very low vibration. When someone says like, oh, I'm jealous you're doing this, I'm jealous you're doing this, it's like, even if you say envious, which sounds a little better, it's still basically saying that you wish you were doing something I'm doing, because somehow you feel like, I don't know, like, not that someone who says that doesn't have the ability to do whatever it is they're saying they're jealous of, but it's just the energy behind it. Like, oh, I'm jealous that you are, and sometimes people say it without realizing what they're saying. Like, it's like, oh, I'm jealous you're going, thinking that they're giving someone a compliment. But when I hear someone say that to me, I'm like, it's not healthy to say that. Because instead of like, oh, that's so cool that you're going, I'm so happy for you, just like you said, instead of her being jealous for her friend getting all this money, oh, I'm happy for her. It's like you see a loving couple, whether on Instagram or in a park, at a grocery store, restaurant, instead of going, why don't I have that? And focusing on the lack, oh, look at why did they get to be happy? You're basically telling yourself that I can't have that and I'm not good enough. Instead of saying, that's beautiful. Wow. I'm so happy for these strangers. I don't even know who they are, but they look so happy and I feel the love. Because then what are you doing? You are open to that energy and you're like, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Yeah. And then 100%. To not even feel that for your own daughter. Right.
It's crazy. I literally was like thinking, I'm like, if it was reversed and you were my child, like I would be doing X, Y, and Z. I'd be like, we're gonna go celebrate. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, how does that not make sense to you? But yeah, you're right. She's just in a different.
It's a different frequency. Channel, like you said, and because it's about her safety and what do others do for her, you know what I mean? So it's a victim mentality. So you have to view her as a teacher still, even though you're like, how is she my teacher? Because she's triggering you. And when I was asking earlier, she's triggering you to do what? To choose a higher frequency where you do not let her trigger you. She triggers you, but how you react, right? So, but the reason why you're acting that way, number one, you're really sensitive. So like I said, you're Pisces, my moon sign is Pisces, but you don't have to be Pisces. Like we're all humans. We're allowed to feel, but we specifically have these, she's probably told you're too sensitive. Mine's always said, like, you're too sensitive. Like, she'll say things to me and she's like, oh my God, like, you're overreacting. Like, I'm your mother. I can say that to you. You're overreacting. And there were times where I go, you know what? Like, there is some truth to that because I can choose how I react, right? But that's not the point. You don't tell your daughter you're overreacting. You don't say those rude things to begin with. But once again, she is teaching you how to upgrade your energy more. It's all about how you're viewing it. But the reason why it's causing your teapot to overboil is because it's an accumulation, not just with her, but with everything else. And it all comes down to your sense of worthiness. Because as you start to feel more worthy at the same time, let me rephrase that. So it's not about the job you get and the successes you have that raise your worthiness. Yes, those things raise your worthiness, but I know how many of us know such successful people who still feel like they're not good enough. Even though they're amazing at all these different things, they still feel like they're not good enough because deep down the inner child is still hurt. And a lot of the success can be attributed to, like, I'm going to prove my worth. And just because they're successful doesn't mean they're happy and doesn't mean they're at peace and present. So it's not about like accumulating external success, but really tuning in to, no matter what happens, I feel worthy and I know I am safe. That's why I suggested the inner child healing. And, because I don't, like, obviously, once again, like, there's my way of suggesting what you need to do or need to do. Obviously, your soul's like, we need to do this, but it's up to you to choose. It's up to you to go, yeah, I am ready. Because I have been seeing you popping up for a while, but because you're so busy, you don't make time because you're doing all these other things. And that's how most of us, I used to be that way. And guess what? Let me ask you this. At what point do you think you will have time?
True.
Wouldn't you agree that you're always going to have things to do?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree that life is always busy? Wouldn't you agree that only you are in charge of choosing and creating, even though it doesn't feel like it? Because right now you're like external, reacting. So at what point do you go, you know what? It's time. It's time to finally surrender so that you're not swimming upstream. You're flowing with your divine feminine energy while still staying in balance with your masculine energy, because we all have masculine and feminine energy. So the masculine energy to do things, to take care of yourself. But what happens when you overgive and overdo for others and not enough for yourself? Your feminine energy goes out of balance. You're out of balance. You're overgiving. So you may injure any part of your right side of the body because right side is masculine. Or if you're not doing enough and you're unable to help yourself, that's your feminine energy wounded because you're not able to help yourself. So you're blocking receiving from others and also receiving from yourself, meaning you can't take care of yourself and you feel helpless. So to find a balance, not only is inner child healing important, but also just balancing all your energy centers, especially your heart. Because your heart, I feel like it's like, there's like anxiousness, like, how much more can I take? And it's almost like you're like running out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the heart is really coming up right now. So what do you feel is standing in your own way to start putting yourself first?
I guess like that block of the selfish, rewiring and not feeling like, and knowing that me filling my cup is only going to benefit others, and the people I love. If I'm, full within myself and I'm centered and I'm whole, then I'll be able to do what I really want, which is to fill others' cups up too. But I can't bypass me before I can, give to others.
Right. So and this is great that you shared this because this is really important. So in order for you, so what you just said, in order for you to not feel selfish about taking care of yourself, you're telling yourself that I need to take care of myself because then I can take care of others. And this is what many people tell themselves. And sounds like what I said earlier, but let's fine tune it a little bit. So you don't just want to do things for yourself so you can do more for others. It's doing things for yourself because you are worthy. And doing for others comes from that. So you don't want to set a condition that I am taking care of myself so that. Does that make sense? Because that's like really important. Because that's also I did that in the beginning. I was like, I have to, and then I depleted myself. I overexhausted myself. And then I stepped into like, no, I am doing this because I enjoy it and I'm worthy of it. And that's when I started to raise my prices, because before I was like overworking. Just like many healers. See, as I'm saying that, I'm feeling your throat chakra, like truth. We're hearing truth. We're coming into truth, which also connected to your sacral and solars. And now I need to drink more water because I'm picking up on the throat chakra imbalance. So when you don't feel safe and you don't feel worthy and you don't have healthy boundaries, you have a hard time speaking your truth because you're not standing in your truth. So when we heal the sacral and the solar and the inner child and all that, we're also healing your ability to receive true communications. So there is a reason why you're finally on this live, because once again, you're like, because imagine if she didn't trigger you. You got this amazing job. She didn't even like express any congratulations properly or whatever. And whatever else happened, you get triggered. But do you see that's why you're finally here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So gratitude for her triggering you to get you here.
True. That's funny.
Yeah, and you know what? I express gratitude to my mom for like triggering me so much a couple of days ago. Maybe 3 days already. I don't know what is time. And I'm like, you know what? This is a gift, because now I don't have to worry about this, and I don't have to worry about that. See someone who doesn't even know you wants to celebrate the.
Oh my God!
Is this someone you know? Your friend? See, or there you go. I don't know them, but you know them. See, there you go. You're here. You're getting support. She's gonna.
I had a funny feeling. I was like, no one's gonna know me on here, and then I'm like, what if some person?
It's like that video, the viral video. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna know. Like when there's like a dog in a sheep's clothing and amongst sheep, no one's gonna know. Who's gonna know?
I want to celebrate you, Courtney. I love you. We need to go on a walk soon. The wildflowers are so beautiful right now. Oh my God. Okay.
There you go. See, you came on here and you already have a partner, celebration partner. So, but here's the thing. Guess what? Guess who's the most important person you should celebrate with?
Myself?
Yes. Kana's like laughing fire, heart, star, sparkle. So like take yourself out to a nice dinner.
Okay.
Enroll in my inner child healing workshop online that you can do at any time. Give yourself the gift of healing.
I need to do that.
Yeah. Because this train ain't gonna be around, because I keep saying like, that's it. I'm gonna focus only on training other people. And then eventually some of my graduates I will be sending my clients to. So if you want to even maybe treat yourself, I don't know what kind of a job you got, but if you want to go deeper and actually have a one-on-one while I'm still doing that, don't sleep on it. So that way you go, you know what? I've been triggered. So you know what? I'm going to take myself to a nice dinner or a walk with my friend, and I'm going to finally do healing, because that's a gift that I am worthy of. And guess what? your inner child's going to keep knocking until you finally surrender. Because all of us have this adult that's trying to run the show. Like, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm this adult. But your inner child's still like, hey, like, did you forget about me? Am I not important anymore? And then your mom triggers you, especially when you're treated like a child, right? And you're like, no, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
So choose yourself, choose to celebrate yourself. This is such a huge step for you. And yeah, it sucks when those who are supposed to love you the most don't give you that support. But you know what? Was she prepared to be a mother? No, most mothers aren't. No one really teaches, so many children having children, adult children having children, right? And everyone's doing their best. And so as much as it may hurt to hear it, especially on the conscious level, as much as we're taught that it's our parents' job to love us, it's actually not. Okay. Yes, it is. It is. Technically, it is. But it's not up to them how you experience your own love. It's up to you. They're just mirroring and triggering you. And you had soul contracts coming into this lifetime to choose these certain karmic lessons to learn and be triggered into learning so that you can do what? You can step into your higher truth. Because let me tell you, if you change nothing, if you decided to snooze on the healing, what's going to happen a year from now? 2 years from now, 5 years from now? You get a promotion, you get whatever, you get married, you have a baby. You just witnessed people, if you were on this whole time, who were married happily with a baby. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm just saying it doesn't matter what stage in your life you're in. Because what are we taught, especially as women? You get married and you have a happy life and you're happy. That's it. Life over. Search over.
Happily ever after.
Happily ever after. After what? You signed a piece of paper? After what? And what do we always suggest? Not just to ourselves, but our friends or whatever. I always tell my clients, like, just because you got married, it doesn't mean you stop dating. It doesn't mean you get too comfortable. It doesn't mean you stop, it's like the man still should do things, you should. There's some women, they're like, I won't live with anyone unless I have a ring on my finger. Why is that? Because you don't want to already get so comfortable, right? Not that, once again, marriage is just a piece of paper. It's not about that. It's about, what do you want to build together? Are you congruent? Are your lifestyles, beliefs congruent? And are you still going to give each other space to keep growing and expanding? Because just because you live together with someone doesn't mean that you lose your identity. So would you rather do the work before you go deeper so that you are more in alignment, or later? Some people go, you know what, I'm good. And then later on go, I'm not so good. I wish I would have done the work. But guess what? It's a choice. So we all choose. So clearly something triggered you to be here. And now you're here. And now you're getting support from a friend. Now you're going to go for a walk. So understanding what brought you here to this moment, your higher self. Your higher self is like, we're going to have a mother who's going to trigger us and it's going to be crazy, but but that's what we need. We need to be triggered because otherwise things are not so exciting.
Yeah.
So let me see if there's anything else we need to know. Yeah, it's like judgment is strong. Like you're like, I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be judged. Because that's tied to everything else, right? Yeah, so huge goosebumps coming in. It's like there's like a past life that wants to show up. Do I have your permission to tap into this? Okay. Yeah, so you had a lifetime where I see you. It's like, I don't know if you married a king, or it's like you're in these beautiful, shiny clothes, and you had a lot of jealousy around you, like jealous sisters, jealous friends. And it's almost like, because this is a mirror to this life, where it's like you felt guilty about what you had, and you
I need
constantly,
that.
hmm?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's not the first time when I pick up on a lifetime, and it's like a mirror of this life, right? So let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, because I see you, it's like things came sort of easily to you versus like your friends and your sisters had to like work really hard. And but you were like so in your feminine energy, you were able to receive effortlessly without trying so hard, which is kind of similar in this way. But you're just, because of these past patterns of having all this jealousy, being betrayed, and all these things, it's like you're afraid to shine brighter than you are right now. You're trying to keep yourself, just like you said earlier, I want to make sure everybody's happy.
Yeah.
It's like self imprisonment, you know?
Mhm.
And that's why the I can't even talk, teapot boiled over.
Mhm.
Because when I'm in theta, I'm tuning in. It's like I literally don't even understand words. Um, so,
Yeah.
so let's see. Yeah, it's been like a struggle between stepping into your power and being like this amicable, like loved by everybody. Have you ever heard the quote? I actually have a t-shirt. One day this is when I was in real estate in Arizona, full time. And I was saving people from foreclosure. And I remember my phone was ringing like nonstop. I had, I think, like close to 40 listings at the same time. And they were all priced really competitively. So I got like like one time I got like 27 offers or something on one listing. So my phone would be ringing, like nonstop. I'd hang up like 20 messages, whatever. So one day I got so overwhelmed, I literally was like, I can't breathe anymore. And I just like, I think I may have told this story in my recent workshop on Zoom. But anyway, so I literally was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to lunch, take myself to lunch, turn off my phone. I couldn't even eat my food, because what is the digestive system? It digests anything that comes your way. So when you get nauseous, it's because you're overwhelmed and can't keep digesting. Another reason I'm telling you this story. So I couldn't even eat my sandwich. At the time, I didn't even know I was intolerant to gluten. So probably a good thing I didn't eat my sandwich. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I literally was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to Sedona because I need to like get away from here. I was in Phoenix. So I drove to Sedona, turned off my phone, and I'm like, I want to go to some resort. I'm going to lay by the pool. And I didn't bring a bathing suit because I didn't plan on leaving town. I just got in my car and left. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go buy a bathing suit. I bought a cowboy hat. And then there was this t-shirt. I still have this t-shirt after giving away all the stuff when I left California. I kept this t-shirt. On this t-shirt is a quote that is so important, and you need to hear it. Women who behave rarely make history. Let me say it again. Women who behave rarely make history. So what have you been trying to do? You've been trying to behave, be the perfect daughter, be not trigger anyone, not trigger one. And I did that for a long time too. So I'm not just saying it because of the t-shirt. I've lived it. I'm like literally, it's like, what do I always tell my clients? When you want to help somebody, help you 5 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever. So I've lived through this, so I know. So anytime you do something important, people are going to try to pull you down. People are going to not like it because you're doing it and they're not. And they're like, why does she get to do it? And I didn't. So think about that when you talk about your mom. It's like, you know, my mom's like, she's in Scotland. Why does she get to be in Scotland? She's going to Spain. Why does she get, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, she's not, you know, forced to work a regular job like I was. She, you know what I mean? Like people who don't support you will actually show it by what? Jealousy, etc. But because they are like, how did she do it? Right? So anyway, so this is really important. We can go so much deeper, but I swear if I don't practice what I teach, you will lose respect for me. And I said to myself, I'm not going to go over an hour and a half max. Last time we went 2. Now we're at 3 people. We're about to hit 3 hours. 4 people scanned instead of 2. So Maya, my dear, are you ready to finally surrender and do the work?
Yes. I am.
Okay. So when I'm done with my dinner, I'm going to see a message from you telling me what you feel. So either you could start with the inner child healing, or while I'm still doing one-on-one, take advantage of that. Literally like ready to send out an email saying I only have 2-3 spots open for my one-on-one. So don't snooze on it, because you need someone to keep you accountable, to love yourself until you're ready to just do it. It's not like, you know, therapy where you need years of therapy. Like you heard Danielle say, in one session, all this stuff came up. So just commit to it. Don't overthink it, and allow yourself to receive. So you're giving, because when you can't receive, you can't give to yourself, right? So you're giving to yourself and you're receiving at the same time. All right.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. So just downloading love for everybody. Sign up for my email list so that you know when my next session is. And I am going to be doing a masterclass. Go to my stories, reply with VIP if you want the VIP access to the masterclass. And Maya, just send me a message. Remind me that you're on PST, and just tell me which days are the best for you during the week or weekend, and we'll get going. All right. All right. Sending you lots of love. Thank you, everyone. And I'll be sending out the replay as well. Lots of love. Take care. Bye. Bye. All right, everyone on YouTube. Bye-bye.